I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and today on the Retro Hunting Adventures, I'm looking at 6 games that I picked up from Goodwill for about 25 bucks. Gonna be testing each one of them in this video, and trust me, I'm starting with the worst first. We will get Jillian Michaels Ultimate Fitness 2011 out of the way right away. The disc appears to be clean, although I did check them all before I left Goodwill, so I'm not surprised that to my naked eye it was fine at the time, and it still is now. If it was superbly scratched up, I just left it there. Even if it was something I didn't have or wanted to have, I wasn't going to take the chance that resurfacing it would make it any better, because let's face it, these are donations to Goodwill. They don't exactly care about the quality, and the people donating them may have used them quite heavily, so I wasn't expecting to necessarily find good stuff, and the fact that I came up with 6 that I thought were at least worth taking home and taking a chance on, that was good enough for me. And as you can see, Jillian Michaels Ultimate Fitness 2011 does work, and they lay it on thick in this game with this whole fake commercial for finely processed foods to remind you that you should be eating organic and nutritious and healthy. Eat your fruits and veggies, kids. None of that processed crap. Well, enough of that. Let's get on to Iron Man, which is very refined and processed. Metallic even, I would say. I was honestly flabbergasted that I didn't have Iron Man for Wii, but I keep checklists for all of the different consoles I collect, and Iron Man was not on the list, so what the hell, might as well pick it up. And this does again appear to be a working game, so that's a good sign. Although, what's weird is I also picked up the sequel, and so far as I can tell from what I played of this first one, Robert Downey Jr. is not in the game. Doesn't seem to be him voicing Iron Man in any of the cutscenes, but in the next game, he very clearly is, so maybe they just didn't have the budget to pay him for the first game, but they did for the second. Or maybe they got him to agree to do the second because the first one sold so well. Or maybe they were hoping for a more direct tie-in to the Iron Man movies, although I get the feeling these probably don't follow the plot of the actual Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, but I didn't play for long enough in this video to prove that. I was just out to make sure that I had bought working games. Incidentally, the Goodwill I went to had a sign that said, priced $4.99 for anything you see unless otherwise marked. And a lot of these weren't marked, so the fact that I got 6 for $25 and a Sega Genesis controller thrown in means they probably undercharged me a little, which I think worked in my favor on everything other than Jillian Michaels. But when I priced these individually on price charting, it was more like 65 bucks instead of 25 bucks. So I think the kid did all right. So here's Iron Man 2. And of course, you'll notice that when I picked games, I also didn't pick loose discs. I picked stuff that was complete in the box with manual, which to me is indicative of a higher chance that something's actually going to work. If the previous owner cared enough to keep everything together, box, manual, disc, there's at least a chance that the disc will still be playable. If somebody has a loose disc and it's been kicked around and tossed like a frisbee and the dog's been chewing on it, yeah, there's not much hope that disc is going to work even if you resurface it. They also got the voice actor for Jarvis in this one. Or if you prefer, you can call him Vision. It really doesn't matter to me either way. I hope most of you watched WandaVision. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's a little strange the first couple episodes, but once you get into the flow, I think it's really good and it has a satisfying conclusion. Maybe not the most epic conclusion it could have been, but it tied up everything in a nice little bow and set up possible future seasons of WandaVision and or related spin-off series. So I was satisfied with the whole thing and very glad that Darcy was in it, because she was one of my favorites from the very first Thor movie, and we hadn't seen her for a long time, so for her to be included in the Marvel what do they call it for television? Not cinematic universe because it's TV. The Marvel universe, let's just call it that. For Darcy to be included was really nice. And here's De Blob 2, which was kind of strange because I don't even have De Blob 1. And I did find a copy of De Blob 1 at Goodwill, but it was in very rough shape compared to De Blob 2. So I suspect they came from different owners, or whoever bought De Blob 2 just never got around to playing it. Now, unfortunately, I hit a dead end with this one because little did I know that on my Wii Motion Plus, the minus button isn't working. And one of the menus that I went to didn't give you any choice to back out of that menu and return to the main menu other than by hitting minus. I don't know if that's something that's reparable or not. I've never tried to clean or repair a Wiimote, let alone Wii Motion Plus. And I don't know if that's in Fix-It-Phil's wheelhouse either. Might have to hit him up, ask him, see if it's something he can do. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised since I bought the Wii Motion Plus used on eBay and didn't test it. Couldn't test it, obviously, because it was sent to me in the mail. So I didn't even know that was a problem until I got into a menu I couldn't get out of. So I just decided, well, that's good enough because I've already tested all of the Wii games here. Might as well move on to the PlayStation 2 ones. If I'm stuck, I'm stuck. It doesn't matter, and we shall move on. This is another one I was very surprised to check my list and find that I didn't have. I don't know what the procedure center is or where they're located or what they do, but apparently this procedure center had a copy of Atari Anthology. Who knows? Maybe they kept it for rent by employees. Maybe it was in a break room for people to play. Maybe it was in a lobby where kids could play it while they were waiting for their parents. I have no idea, but it was in nice shape, and the price was right because it went for more than $5 on price charting. I think everything other than Jillian Michaels did, so I was very satisfied with these pickups since they all seem to be tested and working, and we've only got one more to go here. I chose Millipede because, heck with it, I haven't played Millipede for a while, and every time I find one of these compilations and it has Centipede on it, I always seem to play Centipede, so I chose Millipede this time just to be different. Now, it may be the way my PlayStation 2 is hooked up, or it may be the conversion of the coin-op game to PS2, but the pixels seem very soft and blurry here, and I know the PlayStation 2 has enough processing power to render sharp pixels. Even though you would think of polygons in 3D games when you would think of stuff from the PS2 and Dreamcast generation, well, include Xbox in that as well. Anyway, you would think of 3D polygonal games for the most part, not single-screen shooter arcade games, but I just feel like it could look better than this. And I know it does look better than this when I play it on the MAME arcade cab or on the Xbox One. So maybe a design choice? It's not bad. I mean, it plays well. The sound is right. The graphics are correct, even if they are kind of soft and blurry. I just don't know what to say about that. So we'll move on to the Jam Pack. Winter 2003. I've got 5 of these Jam Packs already, but those were ones that I actually bought back in the day at the time from Best Buy because I was getting reward points for any purchase, so even a PlayStation Jam Pack for $8 would give me some credit towards buying another game, so I tended to buy the sampler discs whenever I saw them at Best Buy. This one has quite an interesting assortment of games on it, so I'm surprised I never picked it up back in the day. Got sports, got action, got all sorts of different genre types, and I'm going to go with Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Just to make sure, just to see that any of the demos on here work properly, because if there was a big scratch in the disc somewhere, they probably wouldn't load or they would judder and skip. And it doesn't appear that's going to be a problem for Castlevania. I'm using a wireless PS2 controller, by the way, and no lag time on it as far as I can tell. It's, I don't know. I've never been super particular about lag anyway, but with this particular PS2 takes two AA batteries and has a button on the top that you can switch between analog mode and normal mode, and everything seems to be working in real time. I'm jumping, I'm whipping, I'm moving left to right. Everything seems to be okay here. I wish I knew why some people are so obsessed with lag. I'm not saying it's wrong to be obsessed with lag. If that's your bag, worry about lag. But I think other people notice things a lot more than I do when I'm playing video games, because I don't have these problems whether I'm using modern day Bluetooth rechargeable wireless controllers or old school controllers that are wireless but take batteries. So that's 6 games for $25, and they all work. I'll see y'all later.